You're listening to Lucky Hawk Talks, the show where Lucky Hawk talks. Now here's your host, Lucky Hawk.
Hello and welcome to another classic edition of Lucky Hawk Talks. I'm your host, Lucky Hawk, and today I bring you Michael Rooker from December of 2013. Now, of course, he had already starred in countless roles like Oliver Stone's JFK or Days of Thunder with Tom Cruise and even Kevin Smith's Mallrats, but Michael Rooker didn't become a household name until his role as Merle in The Walking Dead. I was lucky enough to catch him just right after that big break before he hit his even bigger break as Yondu in Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. So sit back, open your ears, try to learn something, and listen to Lucky Hawk talk to Michael Rooker.
Okay, let's go for it. Yeah.
Okay. Now, your first major role was nearly 30 years ago in Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. But how did you first get into acting?
That was basically it. That was my first professional gig. When it came to film, I had done theater for about a couple of years before that. And I went to a theater school. I graduated from there in '82. And so from then on, I did theater, and then my first film was Henry.
Excellent.
I went to a theater school. My school was called the Goodman School of Drama. It has since changed its name to the theater school at DePaul University, but still quite a beautiful conservatory professional theater group there.
Now, most people today recognize you as Merle from the AMC's, popular Walking Dead series. How did you come involved with that show?
I got called in by some casting friends of mine, and they told me about the character, and the guy gets, handcuffed to the rooftop. He cuts his hand off to get away from zombies, and I said, basically.
Your character was original to the show, and that angered many of the comic fans, but your performance managed to turn Merle into a fan favorite. Did you feel any added pressure to make Merle work against the critics' perceptions of the character?
I think now they do realize that the Walking Dead TV series is a whole other animal, and they use the comics as sort of a guidepost, if you will. And it's a whole different deal that way. The comic fans who know the comics in and out and backwards and forwards will still be a little surprised when they see the shows.
Mm-hmm. Was there any added pressure on your part to make Merle work against the odds?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I had entire freedom to develop that role the way I wanted to make it work. And so I didn't have to use any other character as a blueprint from the comics whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. You've played some evil, vile psychopaths, and you do it very, very well your whole career. Where do you think you draw the inspiration for such dark characters?
It's called imagination.
Yeah. I want to ask you about your movie role in the Guardians of the Galaxy. You'll be Yondu in the upcoming film. No doubt it's going to be a huge hit. What can you tell me about the project or your character in that film?
Well, you know what? Unfortunately, I can't tell you a lot because it's still under strict wraps. And but I do play Yondu. I am now. This time, I am a character in the comics, and but as you can see, some of the photos that are already out, we don't. I'm not in a loincloth. And like the original character,
mm-hmm.
Somewhat of a native kind of being from his own planet. So we're doing it with a bit more modern, updated version of Yondu. So there's not much I can say about Yondu at this point in time. Although it took a good 6 hours to get in makeup and wardrobe and be camera ready. It was was a pretty extensive process. And so we worked our butts off on the show, so it's going to be a beautiful piece, I think.
I noticed one thing was missing from the photos. It was the giant red mohawk. Are they going to add that in CGI, or do you know?
I don't know what they're going to do in CGI. I don't have anything to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever they add or don't add is, really up to the director and the producers and Marvel, Disney, those guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I basically, my job is to make this character as real and honest and play it as honest as possible. And whether I have, 6 hours of makeup or 2 minutes of powder, it doesn't matter to me. So I just go in there and do my job.
I noticed on the cast is we have a huge pro wrestling fan base for our website, and former pro wrestler Dave Bautista is also in the movie.
He's an awesome man. He's a great guy. Very, very wonderful to work with, and a great person to have on set.
Okay.
And he is massive. My God, that dude's biceps are triple thicker than mine in the width capacity, not even diameter wise. So he's pretty amazing.
Okay, now you mentioned the long process of putting on makeup for Yondu. How did that compare as putting on the makeup for Merle post?
Oh, well, Merle had almost no makeup. Merle had sexy dirt.
Yeah.
That's the girls in the makeup room, that's what they like to call it. They call it sexy dirt. And so basically, pretty much me and Norman was probably the dirtiest of the two, mainly because we just have them put it in our hands and we put it on ourselves and spread it over our heads and necks and arms and chest and everything. And there was not a lot of makeup. We did a lot of sunscreen and a lot of sexy dirt. Basically, that's it. You didn't have to do anything. If you're sweaty, you're sweaty. If you're not, you're not. And we were out there in July in the middle of the summer down there in Atlanta area. So, it would have been horrible to have to be a lot of makeup. So there was almost no makeup involved, and a lot of makeup because there were certain looks that had to be maintained over a period of, they're in their fourth season now. So all these looks they sort of change a little bit as you go along, but they once they establish something, they like to sort of keep it the way it is.
Now, things seem to be going very well for you at the moment, and it looks like more good things are headed your way. What advice would you give to anyone who wants to get into acting and be where you are today?
Well, don't give up. You just got to have a mental attitude of resilience. It's that kind of career. You're basically a freelance. You're a freelance guy. Unless you get into a theater group and you're all working together and doing theater and all that kind of stuff, and your season coming up and all that kind of thing. But I was always a freelance kind of guy, and I was never in a major theater group with a bunch of other actors. I was always an individual, going out there and hustling and getting the jobs. So you gotta be tough, man. You gotta be tough enough to still be sensitive enough to be able to do the work.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Rooker, for your time, and I think that wraps it up. There you have it, folks. Short, sweet, and to the point, the one and only Michael Rooker. Visit michaelrookeronline.com to see all of his upcoming projects, and by all means, check out the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special on Disney+. I liked it. My family liked it. You're going to like it. Now, if you like this interview, please let me know in the comments And as always, like and subscribe to this channel. If you want more of my interviews in print format, please visit my authors page at amazon.com/authors/luckyhawk. If you have Kindle Unlimited, you'll have access to each of these interviews for free. If not, they're only 99 cents per volume, so please check it out. And until next time, this is Lucky Hawk. Take care.